and welcome to this special show on Chennai's Heroes. At a time when the city was under deluge, when there were large parts of the city were flooded and people are feeling marooned, they came virtually like messengers of God from the skies. They came on boats, they came on roads, and they saved people. Before we talk to these heroes, we go across, in fact, to the people who were rescued by them. At a time when Chennai has faced perhaps its worst crisis, also coming out as stories of heartwarming stories, in fact, of heroism. You were, in fact, stuck inside your home. You were saying 10 to 12 feet of water. That must have been very scary.
It was very scary. The water level was rising in front of our eyes. We can see it was rising slowly, step by step, and we both were trapped.
I was outside the scene, and these two, Arushi and Rakhi, they were inside the house, and they were seeing every hour the water level was increasing. At the end, Indian defense, they came like in the border story like Jackie Shroff.
Like heroes.
Heroes. And they just entered with the two Shaktiman, one in this lane, second in another lane. Immediately they just dropped all the boats. Just in 2 hours, they rescued the whole state.
So a salute certainly to our defense.
Definitely. The name of that guy was Major Arpit Malhotra, and another was, I think, Colonel Avinash Gupta. Fantastic guy.
We were talking to people and they were very, very happy that your teams came and in such a professional manner saved so many people. How many people did you manage to save and what was this looking like?
So far we have rescued around 3,000 people from this location, and they were stranded inside the buildings. When we came about 3 days back, the water level was around 17 to 18 feet. Now the challenges which are there of our relief operation, basically. Rescue operation is mostly over, and now what we are looking for is the relief material in the sense like food supplies, water and the medicines.
So hopefully Chennai will be back on its feet sooner rather than later, and everyone is working in fact towards that. In Chennai with camera person Kumar, Uma Sudhir, NDTV. We come to you this evening from the Tambaram Air Force Base, and I have with me people from the NDRF, the Navy and also the Indian Air Force. This is DN Singh, who was part of the operations in Koturpuram. We have Rekha Nambiar, who is in fact commanding the operations of the NDRF here. We have Mr. Mayer, who is in fact from the base at Arakonam, and we have Captain Pandey, who has been part of the Navy's operations here, and we have two gentlemen here from the Indian Air Force. We have Wing Commander Simon and Venkat as well. I'm going to actually go to you first. You were telling me that at a time when everyone was marooned, you were flying choppers in actually difficult conditions.
Yes, ma'am. We are flying very close to the obstructions. This being an urban flooding, we had to fly at rooftops. So there were a lot of obstructions. In fact, people were drying up their clothes. So those also flew off at times. So
they could have got stuck in your machines and it would have been really a situation.
Yes, ma'am. That could have led to a catastrophe, but thank God nothing has happened.
Thank God nothing has happened. And one of the most heartening things you were saying, you were discussing, that you were, one, rescuing people, and two, giving food. And people are actually directing you to go to other places because they needed that food more.
We have seen number of instances actually in such kind of instances where when we went to give the relief material to the persons, they were actually denying the relief material and were directing us to the places where they were actually in need.
You were telling me that you had a joint command operations actually coordinating with the state government. What were the kind of operations that you were doing, and how were you identifying where the needs arose?
As I was mentioning to you earlier, we have been functioning in very good. Our equation with the state government has been very good. We have been in close consultation with them. And in fact, from the time in the last month, around 17th, when the first deluge had taken place, they had requested us to deploy our team, in fact, here, Tambaram. And that time, Secretary Tourism was a monitoring officer, and our teams were deployed in the areas of Chengalpettu, Modichur. So our equation has been with them very good. We have been talking to them every day. In fact, right now also our representative is part of the State Emergency Operations Center. So wherever they have been tasking us, we have been deploying. And as I was again mentioning to you earlier, we have a parallel functioning where we had scrolled our helpline number 25394240. Based on that, close to 2,000 calls we received. So what we did, we activated parallelly, in addition to what we have been given to state government, we activated the crisis management center where we had people with the local language. They took down the calls, Thereafter, we localize the areas from where the maximum.
But the language communication issue must have been a challenge because you have people coming in from everywhere and they may not necessarily know Tamil.
No, that is the USP of the armed forces. We are amalgamation. In fact, we are a reflection of the entire country. So we have enough people represented from every part of the country. So we overcame that challenge. In fact, as I was mentioning, that we zeroed on to the areas which required immediate help.
In fact, when the airport got flooded and the operations were stopped, there was a kind of a distress and what's happening to a metro like Chennai. And that's when perhaps Rajali came in and you actually operated flights out of your civilian aircraft and flew out close to some 700 people.
Ma'am, Chennai is actually lucky that it has quite a few airfields near and in around it, which are operated by the defense, including Air Force Station Tambaram. We are approximately 80 kilometers out. There's a very large naval base called INS Rajali. And we started operations from the third morning, where over the period of 4 days we had over 20 civil flights operating in and out of the base. We have a very large airfield there with a extremely expansive infrastructure which could accommodate all these large aircraft quite easily. And because of the induction of the new aircraft, the PA type Poseidon, we have an enormous amount of augmentation of infrastructure which has taken place at Rajali, which has modernized that base completely, which helped us in assisting and ensuring that all the passengers were looked after. We ferried in and out more than 4,000 people, and in this process of which more than 1,500 were the army personnel, 1,250 were the NDRF, and nearly 1,000 civilians.
Virtually for the last 1 month, you as the first response team, in fact, were on the field since the 9th of last month.
That's correct. Initially, 14 teams from Arakonam and from Guntur battalions were deployed from 9th, and when the trouble passed around 20th, slowly the team started getting withdrawn. But in the meantime, the second wave of rains and the deluge happened, and we are back in the field again from 1st.
What was your biggest challenge there? Because you were going into very, very narrow areas. What kind of operations? Because the city being under deluge and people having to be saved from the middle of the city virtually is quite an unusual thing.
This is our second instance of urban flooding. We've had the same experience in Jammu Kashmir last year. Now in urban flooding, the main problem is that you have a very restricted space and you have very high population too. The population density is very high. The second thing is you cannot go in with large boats and evacuate people because the roads are very narrow. So given that, we were taking inflatable rubber boats going, and each sortie we would end up rescuing maybe 5-8 people. The team would come back, set the rescued people down on the...
I was seeing even there were sometimes 8 dogs in the boat being rescued because people are quite concerned about their pets as well.
Yes. Life is valuable, be it human, be it animal, and we understand the emotional value that people attach to their pets. So yes, we have saved human and animal lives, yes.
In fact, Assistant Commandant DN Singh was part of the operations in Koturpuram, one of the worst affected areas. वहाँ पे पानी तो 2 मंजिल तक आ गया था, और आप कह रहे थे बीच में आप स्कॉर्पियो के ऊपर से गुजर रहे हैं और आपका बोट भी ऐसे डिफ्लेट हो गया एक तरह से.
यस मैम, एक्चुअली हुआ क्या था कि वो जो रोड पर गाड़ियां खड़ी थी वो ऐसे ही थी, और कुछ पानी का फ्लो इतना था कि कुछ गाड़ियां वो रोड के बीच में आ गई थी. तो जो पानी का लेवल इतना हाई था कि फर्स्ट फ्लोर तो डूबा ही था, सेकंड फ्लोर भी लगभग 4 से 5 फीट तक उसके ऊपर पानी था. तो हम बोट को ऊपर ले जा रहे थे. उस दौरान नीचे से स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी हमारे बोट से टकराई, जिससे हमारा बोट भी डैमेज हुआ. लेकिन फिर भी हमारे पास हम 9 बोट लेकर के 3 टीम के साथ ऑपरेशन कुटुरपुरम में कर रहे थे, और मिनिमम हमने 4000 लोगों को वहां से रेस्क्यू किया है.
We are not pointing fingers at any particular government or the forces, but saying what are the big lessons that India needs to draw from disasters like this one? Because, for instance, for a cyclone, we know there's an SOP, there's a standard operating procedure, but for a flooding that happened within a city, we were not expecting this to happen.
SOPs are laid down, they are existing everywhere. The armed forces have, I'm sure state governments must be having. It is only probably the suddenness of activity like this which catches people off guard. But like armed forces, we have our contingency plans in order. Every kind of contingency is foreseen, and orders with respect to mobilization of manpower. Like we have HADR bricks, that is humanitarian assistance, disaster relief bricks, pre-packed medical bricks. We call it a bricks. In fact, one brick caters to about 100 people. They are pre-packaged. They are positioned in our material organization. And in fact, nowadays we have them preloaded on ships. And the ships use the medium of the sea. The history has always been telling us that this is the fastest, and we have been always managed to mobilize in the quickest time possible. In fact, we have been the first responder to all our neighboring countries. In fact, when Maldives had this water crisis, even in now, close to about 100 tons of relief material we could mobilize at a very short notice. So I wouldn't say that lessons, probably the suddenness of such incident leads to some amount of maybe inertia. Otherwise, we have our SOPs in place, and I'm sure that state government also has a similar SOP in place.
The experience with this, you were telling me NDRF teams need to go out within 15 minutes. But coming out into the city where you were meandering through the city and getting to location was very, very difficult.
Not really. Some areas which were flooded, we had to divert and move around. And then there were some areas where the access was clear. But yes, South Chennai was one of the low-lying areas which was flooded. So,
any big lessons from this experience that we have had with Chennai?
Before I answer that question, I would like to comment on what Wing Commander Venkat has said. Interestingly enough, this is one of the things that NDRF does, which is that we go to schools all over the country and we take lessons. We call it familiarization exercises, and each battalion does about 20-25 such exercises in a year. So we teach them whether it's about tsunami, whether it's about flood, whether it's about earthquake, depending on which area is prone. Now, returning to your question, lessons that we have learned, you can never be complacent. Anything can happen. Nobody expected a flood of this proportion in a city like Chennai. So I think what needs to be done is that we should be very proactive, keep mentally alert and respond. For instance, when we kept getting our distress calls, we would plot the localities on a map. And immediately after that, we would send our teams in a grid pattern. Each single boat that was being sent out, we had to do about 25 to 30 sorties every day. And at the end of the day, we still felt that there was so much more to do.
So much more to do. The good part perhaps was that while the services were there, fulfilled, and once again emerged as heroes after this Chennai experience, never be complacent. Disasters could happen at any time. Perhaps planning is the way where we must actually start this entire exercise. That's it then on this special show. Thanks for watching.